Please don't crash. Please don't crash. Please don't crash. Good news, everyone. It's staying at 6,000 KB per S. The stream is up. And I'll see you in 3 minutes. Wait for Cody. Hey. That was Mags by Mags from the album Mags. No, sorry. That was Lightheaded by Mags from the album Mags. If you like Pup, but you thought like this needs to be a little more surf rocky and a little less Angry Virgin. If you're into like a light Pup, then check out Mags. It's just a great album. It's underrated. So yesterday I was doing this stream per usual, but ran into some internet issues, so I had to cut it about halfway. Still have a bunch of Next Fest demos to play. So I'm just gonna try and run through what I got left today. I don't have anything else planned because I got D&D at 9, so I can't go for too long. But got a couple more fun games I was looking to play. Oh, also, you might know me. You might have known me from one of my hit tweets. My last tweet did really well for some reason, and it's doing well enough that I'm getting comments from people that that are on Twitter all day, I guess I'll say. So my last tweet was just a joke about colorblindness, And about half of the retweets are either this didn't happen, that's not how colorblind works, you're an asshole because that really happened. And then there was one reply that said, Dream do this to George, and I don't know what they meant. But I knew when I saw that, I thought I made it. I've made it on Twitter when I'm getting those kinds of comments. So, yeah. Oh, a lot of people also keep calling it a 2-sentence horror. It's technically 3 sentences. I wasn't making it with any structure. I just... my last tweet... I know, I'm going on the publicity show here. I woke up from a dream. And in the dream, there was like a recurring theme of colorblindness. And I woke up and I'm like, this would make a great tweet. And so I was sitting there in bed and I just threw together that tweet. And apparently people liked it because it's getting retweeted by random real writers. I made it, guys! I made it, my tweet! Sorry, I just had to like be proud of myself for a moment. Anyways, I'm hoping today's stream will go clearly and won't break down. If you see audio issues, frame rate drops, let me know. But first, hello FUNKe channel! If I've done everything right, you're hearing this. And if I'm doing everything right, the stream won't end halfway through again. So this is a game called Turbo Overkill. Not Ultra Kill, not Megadeth, Turbo Overkill. I'm just gonna start from the beginning. I didn't get that far yesterday, but this looked to be one of my favorites of the bunch. It should be self-explanatory. I didn't realize I'm playing on the easiest difficulty. I chose Virgin Blood. I probably should have done regular Joe. Difficulty settings. I can't change it. Okay. So this is why this game looked really cool to me. On your leg is a chainsaw. Strapped to your leg at all times. So you can just insta-gib stuff by running into it. Got kind of this industrial look to it. And I think that's about it. This is basically where I got last stream. About one room ahead before having to stop. I will say, just because this discussion's going to come up at some point, it's been hard going on social media because some of my friends have just apparently been playing Elden Ring for the past fucking week somehow, and they have like 70 hours in it. So I'm dodging landmines because I want to play Elden Ring with as little knowledge of it as possible. And it hurts, like, seeing my friends have already been playing it for, like, a week. And it doesn't even come out till, Friday? What can you do? So there's a Tony Hawk skate park level, or room. It's a little wonky. You can't, like, do a full half pipe, but the fact that this is here is good enough for me. The good news is I don't think we have any technical issues. And just because these streams are split up, yesterday I played Neon White, which is a pretty fun demo available. For some reason it has dating sim mechanics, but it's a really fun movement game. There's a weapon which is a rocket launcher with a grapple. It's a fun game, but if you're into that kind of thing, just be ready for some Naruto references. I'm not joking about that. But yeah, the demo for Neon White is out now. This game is called Turbo Overkill. It seems like a lot of people aren't super a fan of the visual novel Neon White stuff. I get what they're going for. I think they can make it work. But yeah, it's honestly a little cringy. And not totally in a not totally in like a charming way. But I won't hold it against the game. This is fun. So, as of this room onwards, I'm totally blind playing this, so I'm gonna take my time. Nice. That really was virgin blood level. So I had a dentist appointment today. And I'm wondering if this is like a normal human thing. Or if this is just speedrun strat. So I went in for a cleaning, right? But I don't like having someone's hands in my mouth. So I feel like going, how do I phrase this? Dentists are the only thing that you do their job as much as you can before you go to them to do their job.
Don't be traveling paradise with that.
If that makes sense. Like, I'm going to the dentist, but I don't want to be there, so I, like, do all of their work ahead of time. I flossed 6 times that morning. I brushed twice, just so I can get out as fast as possible. And I went to the dentist, and it was over in, like, 10 minutes, and she said, wow, you're really good at taking care of your teeth. Like, no plaque. And it almost made me wonder, like, why did I even go? Like, I think I've already maxed out my teeth cleaning skill tree. Like, I don't even need to go. That's not true. I do have a cavity. But I just thought it was funny. But I cleaned my teeth in preparation for a teeth cleaning. That's all. That's the story. It's dramatic irony. No. You would think the game's slippery and, like, you're just dead, but there's a lot of air control. There's also sort of a second, a right mouse click mechanic. A weapon mod, I guess, would just be the right word. What's the lore of this game? Mankind is dead, blood is fuel. Grass grows. I don't actually know. One day I'll get old. What? That's a whole sentence. One day I'll get tired of just room clearing fast FPS's, boomer shooters. But today's not the day. Increased chainsaw leg damage. Faster dash recharge. When I'm richer. I don't like things that talk to me. Just in general. That's cool. There's like a body modding part to the game that I can't use yet. A lot of keys. I mean, personally, I think any game that lets you just play it first and you figure out the lore later is doing something right. Which I can't say for a couple of the demos I've played so far. Some of them really like to talk at you. So, okay, you have to buy augments at the vending machines and then take them to the splicer to equip them. Not that I can afford anything yet. I wanted to open the chest, but you need a key to get into the chest to get the augment, which you have to take to the splice. It's not confusing, but it is complex. It's not even complex. It's just more than one step, which is to me complex. Interesting level design. You know what's weird is I'm always in a mood to play these games, but I still haven't beaten the second DLC for Doom Eternal. And I don't know why. I like Doom, but Eternal kind of felt sort of pausey. Like you would reach a room and you'd just be stuck in it for a while till you cleared everything. And it wore a little thin on me. I know it's probably not much better to just kill everything with no effort, but there is a sense of forward momentum I didn't totally feel with the first DLC and a lot of the campaign. I got a new gun. I think. It's hard to tell. Because I hold them all the same. No, that was an upgrade. My bad. I'm kind of feeling a Dusk vibe with this level design. Like, there's not really a clear direction. But maybe in a good way. Is the internet better today? You tell me. Am I lagging? Feels fine on my end. Yeah. I am waiting for Elden Ring. I don't feel bad about it, but it's gonna be a test on whether I finish the Pokemon game, because once Elden Ring's out, really not gonna want to play anything else. But it might be for the best to take a break. Coins. Yeah, I don't... There's not a map. So I'm just kind of looking around right now. You go up here, then it brings you over here. But it doesn't really tell you where to go after this. I think I have to backtrack and find a door. I'm just kind of parkouring right now. Yeah, okay. I remember now. There's a blue key door. That I might have already passed. Deja vu. Okay. No. Right on, Poppy. Happy for you, being in control of your own life. There's a blue door somewhere that I'll find. Key. That looks like a Dota character. Like the Berserker. Which is his name. I don't think that was a boss. He acted like one. It's something about them taking the time to make that cutscene only for it to die instantly that I appreciate. This is the next big bet. Wait. Another deja vu. Have collectibles always been kind of a drag in video games? I don't know if maybe it's just sort of the childhood charm. I remember it being more fun finding hidden items. Not a riff on this game, but like I remember in Doom just having to scour the entire level for niches. I guess Doom has good ones. The plushies and the OG Doom levels were pretty good hidden Easter eggs. I'm just not a big fan of the sort of red coin, find 82 of the golden turds. I like it when it's got personality. Ugh. Heat up my ammo. A good way to put it, oh Blue. It can feel like an obligation. At least it's not mandatory, though. Oh, I just realized the weapon mod for this is just dual wielding. This... There's something... I might be getting my games mixed up. I thought there was a smart pistol in this one. Poppy, I don't know much about making a VTuber avatar. I'll let you know if I do in the future. I imagine it's just... I imagine whoever you're working with for your art asset needs to know like how to set up the VTuber the program. I know you like get a model set up, whether it's in Blender or a 2D one, but you need to know the... Yeah, I don't know. You might have to like find another person or do some research. Again, I'll have a VR chat bomb model. I don't know about a VTuber one, but I'll let you know in the future. Yeah, when I saw the promo stuff for this game had a chainsaw leg, like I was instantly on board. Didn't even have to question it. This other game I'm thinking of hasn't gotten an update in a while, but someone is making a mix of Tony Hawk and Doom. So you're on a skateboard with a gun. And I really am looking forward to that game, but I haven't seen an update for it in like a year or two. Hold it. Screen's getting messy. Yeah, it's really not linear. I feel bad. It might be hard for you to tell that I'm chainsawing them with every slide. There it is. I learned that Deep Rock Galactic apparently has a smart pistol mechanic, which I just think is amazing. I didn't realize till recently that the Deep Rock Galactic developers apparently make a lot of great games. I say forgetting what other games they made. I know they made like a first-person what would you call, like a technology construction game, like Factorio. Satisfactory? Was that it? I think the DRG folks also made Satisfactory. You know, like Factory. And they made another game. Either way, they seem to have a great track record. Goat Sim? Yeah, they came from Goat Sim. Yeah, no one really talks about them. I don't know if it's the publisher or the dev team itself, but whatever they're attached to, I mean, they're doing some work. Alright, I'm being told it's publisher, different devs, but still. I mean, if New Blood can knock it out all the time as a publisher, then good for them too. Still don't have any of these. Kind of looked like Isaac for a second. The Space Isaac, the dead Space Isaac. Didn't get a good look. You guys know that Quake Champions is still in early access? I think it's just the helmet that looks like Isaac. I saw the helmet and like the orange torso and I thought of him. Yeah. I don't know if I would say it's still being worked on. I know that they're still making seasons and battle passes. The last thing I remembered, I think it was like 2 years ago, they updated the health pools of all of the champions so that tanks would be less tanky and like it would be more well-rounded. Like everyone has the same amount of base health, but different armors, I think. I don't know what the player count is. I just know the game somehow is not released. It's still a thing though. Like they didn't abandon it. You gotta remember, it's Bethesda publishing it, so kinda to be expected. Johnny. This is a weird camera mode. I want to take a selfie. But I can't go any further. FOV, I don't think... No, I can. This is, not totally intuitive. I wish it wasn't completely blurred out. Can I play the game like this? Can I turn Johnny around and just shoot him? Yeah. Got some health. You know, the first time I played Dead Space was on my phone. It released Dead Space, was it a 3? On like the Apple Store. I don't know if that was the ideal way to experience Dead Space, but it was all I had at the time. What year was this? Like 2011? It must have been pre-2012. But I don't remember. I just remember I was in school. Which could be any year at this point. I don't know what happened to Infinity Blade. I just remember thinking like that was the peak of video games, and then I never heard about it ever again. Infinity Blade was... It was a medieval game where it was just quick time event Dark Souls. You'd swing a sword as a quick time event. But the graphics were really good. It was like, I don't know, PS3 level decent. So for a phone gamer, that was a pretty big deal. Yeah, technically. I think you're so goddamn clever, don't you? Presentation of this game, easy 9. Mechanics, easy, eh. It would be mean to call it an 8. It's got all of the fundamentals down. I think the one, like, unique thing is, like, this chainsaw leg, which is cool. I almost want to hold a point or two until it really proves itself. But so far, respect. I have foot. Oh. Ooh, you're working for that rating to go up, aren't you? You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of Tom Scott jumping across a staircase and calling it parkour, which it is. This game is Turbo Overkill. Demos on Steam. I don't check how long these demos generally are. Definitely getting my lack of money spent's worth here, though. There's a collectible. Aw. I don't think, like, I don't have a rocket jump. And I don't have, like, a triple jump. So but that looks like a key. Yeah. A good old thumping. Acquired. I see that there's a jump pad that I might be able to sort of cheese. Oh, maybe that's where I need to go. Well, first... Yoink. Yeah, I stream. It's... I call it Movement Tuesday, but like the last 3 of them haven't successfully been on a Tuesday. But I promise it's still my intent. I have a key to the chest, but I forgot where the chest is, so I'm just holding on to it for now. Explosive damage when landing on the ground from height. Ow. Oh, come on. I have to get the key again. Oh, wait. No, I just forgot. I literally did use it on that chest. Getting my keys mixed up. And even with the power armor, still died. I don't know if I'll have time to get to it, but, God, it's always the barrel. There's a chance I might end up playing Ziggurat at the end of this stream. So it's like an FPS roguelike, where you can sort of build yourself in a way that you move a lot faster. But I imagine these demos will keep me busy for the next hour or 2, and I don't plan on going past 8 o'clock, so we'll see. I might save it for next week. It's just been a great month, man. This month and next month will just be great for video games. I can't auto-save or anything either, so I just gotta run with it. Pokemon came out and it wasn't a total disappointment. all these demos drop that I'm having a lot of fun with. Elden Ring comes out, you know, 2 days. And Shadow Warrior 3 next week. And then a new Weezer album in March. I couldn't ask for... I could ask for less. But I didn't. And I will accept the consequences of that. What is all about Elden Ring? It's just... Dark Souls has a very reputable reputation. The very beloved games. You could almost argue it invented a certain type of... Maybe not invented, but standardized a certain structure of video game. And From Software rarely doesn't deliver. Even Dark Souls 2, which some people don't like, a lot of people do like. If anything, Elden Ring... I won't spoil it. So some stuff from DS2 returns. And people are excited about that. But anyways, Elden Ring is all of the fun of Dark Souls combat, which is just a really an intelligent use of parrying and angular swinging. A lot of different cool abilities. They've really extended the use of spells and magic to be more interesting. And they wrapped it up in a fun open world. And I don't follow the reviews, but the headlines I've seen have said, like, it's not totally comparable to other open world games. Like, it's well populated, is what I think. And that's kind of as much as I'm willing to read into it without, like, I want to play the game and experience it. But basically, it's going to be the video game. Like, when you open a book, a textbook, and you get to the chapter video games, the first thing you're going to see is Elden Ring. Video games were always a very experimental medium. Until February 24th. That was. And if I got you interested... The last thing I'll say is check to make sure your computer can handle it, because you need at least 12 gigabytes to run it. Thankfully, I have 16. I'm a little worried about my 980 Ti, but I think she'll maintain. If you have a console, you should be fine. I mean, as fine as a console could be. But you gotta understand, From doesn't mess around. If they say game's hard to run, I think it's for a reason. I think it's a good looking game. I think there's a bomb upgrade for the shotgun. Oh no, this one. That's what I'm thinking of. So I can rocket jump, but I need the bluebies. Boss room. Oh. Okay. I did it. Wait. Nothing, like, spawned or opened up as a result of that fight. Alright, I'm starting... Oh shit, a 3060! How do I unscrew it from the wall? The game does seem to do this a lot, which is where you just don't totally know where to go. Oh, I got a key. I think that might just be me being dumb. I hit a dead end and I get a key and I forget that I passed a door that required a key. Because again, there's not like a Metroid Prime map to reference. You just have to remember when you pass stuff. It's not a big deal though.
Don't be traveling paradise with that. Upgrade now. Guns, guns, guns.
Kind of sounds like one of the hosts of Death Battle.
Hey, pal, you look like you could do with a gun.
But if it was voiced by Justin Roiland. Boom, it sounds like Boomstick.
Paradise with that. Upgrade now.
Who do you guys think would win, Saitama or Popeye, the Sailor Man? If that's a question you've ever asked yourself, then I'm pleased to tell you there's an actual scientific answer. And it is the one that you think. I see the unanimous agreement in chat, and I'm gonna choose to assume that most of you haven't seen Death Battle, and you just know. Humans cannot die. What I didn't realize about Popeye is apparently back then they would animate the show Popeye, and then they would just get the voice actors to like ad-lib over it. So they would hire just sort of radio voices, you know, the celebrities at the time. And sometimes they would just send them the footage of Popeye and be like, yeah, we don't have anything written, so just talk over it. And I don't know if that was the hard rule across like all of Popeye, but from what I've seen of it, it definitely tracks. A bridge series. But the thing is, they weren't dubbing it. It's not like it was already voiced. It was just... I don't know. Like, maybe they didn't have the technology for an audio track. So they just animated it, added the music and sound effects and stuff later. I'm curious if anyone in chat's gonna know what I'm about to say. Have any of you ever watched the Underdog cartoon? Because if there was ever like a boomer contest, I feel like that's my closest winning line. And I don't know if that was like an anomaly that I saw that, because I've never heard anyone ever reference this show, and it made me think at one point it wasn't even real and I hallucinated it. So okay, there are a lot of yeses in chat. I'm surprised. I thought like anyone under 22 would just not even conceive of Underdog. I got a green key again at my grandma's house. Yeah, I had a friend. I had like just some, what was it, middle school friend named Bryce, and for some reason he had the entire DVD set of Underdog, and my first thought is, What graveyard did you dig this up in? The movie. I don't recall the movie, but I bet you if I watched it, I would realize I saw it. There's still no idea what the lore is of this game. And I think that's a good thing. I was worried there. Am I getting deja vu? Didn't I already see that? Is it looping? I haven't been paying enough attention. The demo might have ended because I definitely have played this level. PT. Yeah, no, I have. Huh. Probably should have not talked about Underdog so much. But it didn't say demo over or, you know, wish list on Steam. It just ended. Okay. It just kind of ends. Have you played the demo? Has anyone in chat played this demo and can verify it just loops itself? I think it does. In which case, I get the feeling that's the end of this demo. Okay, so bit anticlimactic, but it's a demo. So that was Turbo Overkill. Yeah, that's a clean 9 from me. I don't know what my official rating will be, but that is 100% something I would bring up in a video later. Nice. Good game so far. I am going to move on to the next one, but just a reminder, all of these are Steam Next Fest games, so if you want to wish list them or whitelist them, they're on Steam. You can't whitelist a game on Steam, but you know what I mean. Next up is a game called Kick Bastards. I don't know if I'm the kick bastard or if it means like kick a bastard. I need a frame check here just to make sure I'm not wailing. Alright, how's it look on stream? We good? And field of view. All I remember about this game is that you kick stuff. Which was enough for me to play it, apparently. Well. This is the max running speed, in case you're curious. And when you dash, it resets. I imagine this is a short demo. It feels like I'm running on ice. Like, you know, where you're running in place. Fuck. This feels really wonky. I'm gonna try a few more times. It wants me to read while going into danger at the same time, and it's disorienting. I also still cannot decipher whether or not I am the bastard. Please don't. Okay. I think that's it. You just gotta kick stuff. I have a couple more avant-garde, weird games, which is kind of why I want to get the simpler stuff out of the way. Has there ever been a video game that cashes in on the death run format? It's 2022. And I still don't feel like I've seen a game where it's like 1 versus 20. Which is weird, right? Gmod, but that's not an official capacity to me. I mean an entire game built around the mechanic. Does Fortnite have a death run mode? It must. It doesn't. I'm getting mixed answers here. I only ask that because if Fortnite does it, someone else has surely copied it. Hey. Fall Guys? I see what you mean. That's sort of death run without the PvP. Yeah, TF2 Death Run is one of those things I put in insane hours on. And this game, the geometry of this game kind of reminds me of what those maps used to look like. Which is you're on top of a building with shit swinging. I don't think you can parry with a kick. Also, wow, yeah, this is Mirror's Edge. I don't see what... He's doing his best. Me when the 4 Loco hits. So if you dash into a wall, the game just gives up. Like, do the wizards just not die? Do they just start flying when you kick them? I kind of hope that's intended. The air strafing feels really floaty. Oh, come on. Have I gotten a Neon White? Yeah, I played it earlier. So I had to cut my last stream short, but I played Neon White during it. Mechanically, I mean, it's top 3 of like this Next Fest demos I played. I don't mind the dating sim mechanics of Neon White. I felt like they introduced it a bit too early. It felt a bit front-loaded. I'd be okay with that if they kind of introduced the mechanics more. And if anything, I'm hoping that doesn't turn some people off. But I mean, Neon White's real fun. I'm okay with the intentional cringe dating sim stuff as long as it's balanced. I want to wall climb, but with my legs. No. Alright, one more try. Yeah, I don't... Neon White eludes me. The marketing. It seems like they're trying to be a quirked up white boy. And there's a niche for that. I get it. I just hope they don't turn people off from the fun game. I just don't want them trying too hard to make their characters a thing. Like, you don't force Sans Undertale. It just kind of happens. And that's sort of like rule 1 for me with memes. Oh yeah, I checked the player numbers for Metal Gear Rising the other day, and they're above 1,000. Which it hasn't been since 2013. And that made me happy. I think it was at like 1,900, almost 2,000 actually. It was very pleasant news. Ow, I actually flinched. Alright, I feel like I get the gist of this game. I'll try again, but might move on. I also realized I never finished the Blade Wolf DLC. My favorite dog in all of video games. That's a true fact. Blade Wolf is my favorite video game dog. And apparently there's a boss. I think there's a boss fight at the end of it that has its own music theme that I never fought because I was like, well, the Blade Wolf DLC is just Raiden levels, but like repurposed for a new moveset. So I never played it. But with this new knowledge of a boss fight theme I never heard, and a boss I've never fought, you might see a Metal Gear Rising stream in the future. Just a short one, like a 1-hour Blade Wolf DLC. I've already played the Sam DLC, which was great. Oh, you can wall run anything. I thought it was more specific. I don't even know if I have to kill everything. I can probably just run. I'm womping. Alright, last try. My patience is done. Okay, cool game. I love the idea of a angry dude kicking. Movement's a little wonky. I don't understand why dashing turns off the wall run. This air strafing's a little floaty for something with all these projectiles, but that might just be a get good situation. Cool concept. I'll keep an eye on it. But might have to sell me a bit harder to complete my interest. Just gonna try ignoring that dude this time. I don't know what you meant. Press left shift to phase, but it will kill your speed. Oh, it just means the dash. Also, what's this music? Why do I hear pop pop every 3 minutes? Alright. Neat concept. I hope you can build something more off of that. But I think I'm going to play another game. And why not go with something that'll give everyone a headache? That seems fun to me. Sorry, I was slurping a Baja Blast. That's what that sound was. Not the first thing I expected to see opening the game. An FBI warning. This is called Splatter. I don't know a lot about it, but I know your view model is a hand. Program contains. My husband is dead. I don't want to remarry. I only want sex. See my pussy. Here. Are the frames dying? Oh, I would hate for you guys to miss out on what I'm seeing right now. See if I can't fix that. I was looking at a porn ad, but the picture was a cockroach. If you're wondering if the frames are too low to tell what's happening, it was that. Frame rate check. Why the fuck does the wall bend when I get close to it? I'm not sure what I can do to alleviate this. 1280 by 720. Is the frame rate okay now? Seems fine to me. Yeah, so this is the advertisement. Press F to slap. Ingest data. I can shoot estrogen for my attack. There's also a testosterone meter, but it doesn't seem to do anything. Come on, open. Ingest spew. Oh, okay, there's the testosterone. And I can, change between them. Session 1, he does it for free. It really fucks me up how the level bends based on where I walk. Hamster. Is this real? It's every time I turn the game down, it gets louder. Like it's intentionally raising the volume. Just tell me if it gets too loud. I can't switch to my testosterone. We try. Do you think your parents meant it when they said they loved you? And it's a photo of a cat hitting another cat in the face. I have a beeper on my screen that says commit murder. And the combo meter says I'm currently chewy. Sprat. I take it back. This is what 4 Loco does to an MF. What's this game called? I'd tell you, but I forgot. I'm kind of having sensory overload. I think it's called Splatter. Noir, eat. Also, there's different sorts of attacks. I got a pistol. This is how I mentally felt after the SFM movie night stream, where I drank 6 hard kombuchas. I don't know where to go. Oh. Donut. Why am I taller than the door here, but equal height to it here? My beeper now says to feel the love. And I still don't know where to go. My eyes are going to every corner of the screen like a hacker, trying to find like a tip off to what to do. Juice up below the disco ball or else.
When I saw the original series as a child, it changed my life. The larger-than-life adventures those characters went on really lit a fire in my heart. But now, it's all ruined. Nobody understands what made the franchise good in the first place. Least
Are they spitting a white substance at me?
Why even bring it
I hope
back?
they're spitting.
I'm just gonna stomp all over.
My beeper says to vibrate higher. Oh. Quite the punch. I think it's just sort of a wave survival game. I think this is the whole game. I don't know if I've been playing for 5 minutes or an hour. It has this, like, fucked up dithering effect every time something happens. Don't mind the cultists. I learned the reason that Captain America art has such fucked up proportions is because the artist, I forgot his name, he traced a photo of Arnold Schwarzenegger, but he didn't account for how the body was posed. Like Arnold had his hand up and he was like beefing his chest out, but Rob Liefeld was just like, oh wow, I want to copy the chest from this photo but put his arms down, and what you ended up getting is this really fucked up beefy meaty chunky image. There it is, the dithering. I'm all out of tea. Game's harder than you think. On your psyche, not mechanically.
First time I played it, I thought, wow, graphics are never going to get better than this. They did, though. They did. But, you know...
You guys think I could get a book deal for my colorblind story? My colorblind horror story? I wouldn't write any more. I would just have like I would have 200 blank pages and then 3 sentences on the first page. But do you think I could sell that as a book? I just feel like my options are opening up. Have a snack. That's him. That's what serotonin's for. I'm learning. I feel like this game is already a memory. A bad memory. Beeper says remain violent. Also, some of the wall graffiti, I'll just read it out so you know what I see. Cock and ball torture. Door opens below the ring. Is this just like... Is this zombies? Zombie mode? But on Adderall? Is this a different session? Shout out Kanye and Picasso and Steve Jobs. I saw Kanye stream Donda 2. Donda? True Alpha's Jazzer Cycle. And it was kind of a shit show. So the set was great. All of the people they got out there was great, but I'm worried Kanye might have killed one of the the sound engineers, because halfway through the show, like, all of the audio was out of sync. They would play... He would ask them to skip songs, and they would just play all of Donda 1. And you could see Kanye getting visibly more and more frustrated. And by the end of it, he literally just threw his microphone, and you could hear it skip on the water.
This session will be preparation for the coming ascension.
Anyways, this game reminds me of that show.
The higher realm, the realm of pure semblance. Now you know, it may be more strenuous than before, but trust in me. Your potential is boundless, and you will see this through.
Yeah, he yeeted. He lobbed the microphone. It was on camera. You saw it leave his hand. This isn't Vaporwave, this is Vapewade. And the vape is made of acid.
Now, come together with me in spirit as we guide our
and
bodies
dimethyltryptamine.
and our higher star selves into the light of the system. As you bathe in its glow, repeat to yourself, I am open, I am malleable, I am ready to be shattered, and I am ready to be made new.
Ooh. I tried to remain enlightened. Okay, one more. Oh yeah, rest in peace, Gil the Sunner. Be yourself. Oh, oils. Just looking around while I got time.
Welcome back, traveler. Once again, I am here to help you. This session will be preparation for the coming ascension, when you bring your physical body to join with a higher realm, the realm of pure semblance. Now you know, it may be more strenuous than before.
Sounds like a cult.
Trust in me. Your potential
I'm in.
is boundless, and you will see this through.
On one hand, I felt bad for Kanye, but on the other hand, Kanye makes it hard to feel bad for him. A man can only be so seething over Pete Davidson for so long before you kind of just say, like, I don't care. I do not care, Kanye. Just for anyone that doesn't keep up with him, he posted on Instagram. For once, he posted on Instagram not in all caps, and it went trending because everyone thought, oh, Kanye finally gave one of his PR managers his Instagram account because he wasn't yelling in all caps. And then I think one post later, he was yelling in all caps again. I want to stop, but I don't. I feel like I can do it. But at what cost? Raw Omega.
Welcome Welcome back, traveler. Once again, I am here to help you.
I hate to say it, but Kanye is sort of the epitome of unmedicated bipolar disorder. Like, you can't blame it all on mental health because he's an adult. Well, he's an adult,
your potential is boundless,
but
and you will.
Like, I think he tweeted so Kanye West was married to Kim Kardashian and they had kids, but then they divorced or they broke up. And Kanye didn't take it well. And he put on Instagram a message from Kim saying, like, what you're doing is dangerous. Like, someone's going to hurt Pete and it's going to be all your fault. And then Kanye Instagrammed it out. And he's like, nothing's going to happen to Pete. And if anything does, I'll do it myself. It won't be someone else. He basically said that.
As we guide our bodies
And then everyone was just like, "Oh, that's so Kanye."
Of the system.
The man is
bathe in its glow,
deranged.
I am open. I am malleable. I am
Does he call him
ready to be
Skeet
shackled,
Davidson?
and I am
That would be
ready.
so much better. Yeah, it's I'd hate to say that it's entertaining, but really, yeah, it's bad. Kanye bought a house next to Kim Kardashian just so, like, I don't know. You know, like, the image of Plankton with the giant telescope looking at the Krusty Krab? That's what Kanye's doing with his kids. It keeps mentioning a light, but I
Welcome back,
die before I
traveler.
pay attention.
Once again, I am here to help you. This session will be preparation for the coming ascension, when you bring your physical body to join with a higher realm, the realm of pure semblance. Now, you know, it may be more strenuous than before, but trust in me. Your potential is boundless, and you will see this through.
I think part of the problem is just that Kanye is too big to be held accountable. Like, he's not really doing anything illegal, but he's doing crazy shit. But what do you do about it? Everyone's already told him to stop. Every time you talk down to Kanye, he just makes an album about it. And then it, like, does well.
Now, come together
The
with
light,
me
there's
in
the light.
spirit as we guide our bodies and our higher star selves into the light of the system. As you bathe in its glow, repeat to yourself, I am open.
I am open.
Malleable.
I am malleable.
I am ready to be shackled.
I am, well, I'm not ready to,
Ready to be made new.
I'm ready to be made new. I do not want to be shattered. Oh, okay, I get it. It's like Destiny 2. I get it now. I like my ego. It's shaped like pottery. My ego is like a vase for my soul, my soul plant. And if I shatter my vase, then my soul, I don't know what will happen to it. That's why I don't want to get shattered. Apparently the nitrous mafia showed up. What am I saying? Something deep, probably. I almost expected the game to start anyways, even though I hit give up. I thought it was just gonna make me play again. Extra slime. Okay. That was Splatter. I'm lost. So, why don't we play something that is a bit easier to wrap my head around? You know, like Grow Flow. Which is, a very simple game. Okay. This is fine. A little peppy. This is called Grow Flow. And it involves cubes.
Okay, I think this one will do for the time being. I mean, hi, I'm Anna, and I've created you.
Is that my body? Or are you just really short?
If you don't mind. Try
I can't hear her over the music.
See if you can figure out how they work.
Oh, thank God, that's not my body. So, I got like platformer Portal vibes from this game. Oh, you jump really far. I know it involves like slapping cubes. And I'm gonna take it from there. Whoa. It might just...
Hey, your first death. Don't worry. I made sure it hurts, but never actually kills you.
She's an egg. It might just end up being a CSGO B-Hop map. But I'm willing to give it a chance. These games always get really good after you play for 30 minutes.
The translucent cubes are zones.
What are you?
Be interacted by entering them.
I can't turn on subtitles.
Come on, don't be shy.
Okay, I think I get the gist of it now. No, I don't. There's new cubes. Oh, this is avant-garde. So the blue cube shrinks until it gets so small that it gets big again, I think. Holy, I think that son just unlocked a memory. It looks like the logo for my preschool. It was called like Sunshine Place or something. It also looks like a Dreamcast logo, which I had. It's one of those memories I just unlocked. Oh man, this is hurting my head. No good. I wonder what the pitch for this game was like. Like, they just thought, what if you could grow cubes? I know there's a Portal-like game called, like, Cube with a Q. But in that one, you, like, pull cubes out. You don't grow them in a vacuum. And it's a lot harder to hit those in motion than you think. Something's happening? What do you mean? Like, am I dropping frames? I've been streaming since we discovered Pluto wasn't a planet, and I still have these issues. It seems like we're all right. I don't know what I'm supposed to be going to. This... Oh, so the purple dots are like activators. That's how I break it open. I thought this was just like a playground for learning the mechanics. That's fine. But the conjunction of falling slowly and not having a reset button is testing my strength. Oh, come on. It's floaty. You guys want to hear a heartwarming moment? So, like, I'll go to Books A Million sometimes, and I'll go to the section, of comic books, of Eastern drawn comic books. I go to the manga section, and I kind of like it when, like, the librarians leave little comments about, like, what mangas they like, and they, like, tell you their opinion, and they're like, this is really good, this was better than the show's one. I think it's cute when they do that. So I was looking at them, and one of them, like, the librarian wrote in front, like, with a little tag to the My Hero Academia manga. They said, like, I think this is way better than the show. And then some person, like, that went to the library, took out a pen and wrote "No one asked" under it, which I thought was mean. But then another person scribbled out no one and wrote I asked. And it was like this 3-level conversation. And then the librarian drew like a smiley face and a heart. And I thought it was kind of heartwarming. Like some dude was trying to be an asshole and then someone was like, no, I asked.
Hey,
I thought it was wholesome.
I've got a lot to do now, and I can't be bothered to teach you every single thing right this moment. In case you need help, panic. See you later.
Green eggs. She's a green egg. I just got that. What did make me a little sad is all of the other comments were like really general and not opinions, which made me think maybe she like stopped writing her opinions and just like gave a synopsis. I like it when people just write their little opinion on it. It feels human, you know? Ugh. Anyways, I did not get a My Hero Academia manga. Rest assured. I just looked at that. I don't really understand what the color differences mean. They all seem to do the same thing except for like the activator. Oh. Maybe that's what they do. Teleports you. What manga have you read? It would take too long, I think, to give you a list. I don't have like a full bookshelf, but probably read like at least 80 to 100. 80 to 100 series. I've probably read more, because like I've read every Full Metal Alchemist. That's like 60 volumes. Maybe 60 is too big. It was like 20 volumes. Give a list. I think if you do !anime, it will give you my anime list. I forgot I had that link, but I actually do sort of have a congregated list of stuff I've seen. You can also see my favorite anime character, which is Ginkgo. Because it lets you display that. Erase my man. Yeah, no one knows that I did it, but I made a video on my second channel just bitching about the ending to Erased, like years ago. It's basically a FUNKe study. Before I knew what a FUNKe study was. Yeah, so I loved Death Note and I wanted another thriller. And I learned about Erased, which is about a dude, this guy, when he was like a kid, some girl in his class died, and he got older. Life didn't. He was just a pizza delivery guy, kind of a boring life. And then some magical means lets him travel back in time, and so he sort of gives himself this goal of I'm not gonna let this serial killer kill like my childhood friend. And so the whole story is about him trying to track down and find this serial killer. It's pretty good. The problem was they rushed the anime and they completely changed the ending because they would have needed like another season, and I guess they didn't have the money or green light for it, so they just made a 1-episode ending and they completely fucking botched it. But the manga ending was pretty good. The rest of the series isn't bad. Like the anime is all right. I liked the book better. They whiffed it a bit on the ending, but other than that, Erased was okay. You know, it's a little tropey, But if you're looking for thriller animes, your choices of non-tropey are pretty limited. I don't know if I'm going to complete this demo. I mean, it's relaxing, and I'm enjoying it. But I'm making zero progress here. And it seems like half the time I land on it, but if I'm... So if I grow the cube while I land on it, that happens. I just clip into it and die. Dead Man Wonderland? Is that the... I don't know what that is. Is that the one where you die and you, like, go gambling to try and, like, undie? Like you're stuck in limbo? Or am I getting that mixed up? Is that Death Parade? I don't think I've seen Wonderland. It's that thing that resets me. Samurai Champloo over Bebop? Based? I don't know if you're referring to, like, in general, or if that's something I said on my anime list. I haven't finished Bebop. I'm actually, like, 3/4 through it. I love Champloo. And right now, Bebop is visually and structurally way more interesting than Champloo, but Champloo is kind of a guilty pleasure, I think. It's fun seeing some badass what's a good word for them? Losers with swords. I don't know. It's a great dynamic. It's like people always say, Bebop is more of like a space opera. And that's good, but you gotta be in sort of a mood to watch an opera, don't you? And Champloo is just a cool action samurai show that isn't too cliche. I know there's a word for it. For like when a character is like an asshole, but they're a good person. No, just a dumb, chaotic asshole. That's like the best way I can describe it. A lovable asshole. I hate to cliche myself and say it, but like, you know, like the TF2 mercenaries, how they're really dumb, lovable assholes. Samurai Champloo's cast has that kind of vibe. Through very, stretched terms. I did watch Space Dandy. I don't think I finished Space Dandy. Here's the real question. How many of you have seen Boba 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 Bo? And follow-up question. Are you in therapy today? If you saw Bobobo before you understood that humor, like the point of it, you would definitely walk away with some sort of disillusionment or mental disorder. Like you wouldn't understand how that could ever exist before a certain age. I'm 24 and I still don't understand that. Bobobo. Okay. I can't. It looks like a fun game. I would definitely play this while talking about YouTube drama in a video, but I think I may just drop it and play another demo because I'm not doing so well. greatest shit of my life, being like 13 years old at my grandma's house, turning on Toonami, and I just see a drunk as fuck Rock Lee doing the monkey fist against that bone guy. I don't know why, that's just a super cemented anime memory for me. Bobobo is like the same mental state of like, I don't understand this, but cool. Alright, neat game, cool mechanic, would play. But also I'm not gonna play the rest of it, just because it's 7 o'clock and I got a couple other demos to at least try. But yeah, that was Growflow. I have a few options here. I don't know how so there's this game called Super Shooter. This one isn't a demo. This is just a full game, and it seems like people are getting at least 8 hours worth of it. So I'm on the fence about starting this now. If I like it, I won't have time to play much of it. But the rest of the demos I have aren't that interesting. It's like a surf map. It's another cube-based movement game, and some games I couldn't get working because apparently they just lagged the stream. So unless I have something else, I think I'm just gonna try and play this. Try Sisyphus. It's a good idea. Do you have a new demo available for Sisyphus 2 for Next Fest? For those that don't know, Sisyphus is a game Sealger made for like a full school project, course project, but it's not an FPS game, so I'm actually going to play Super Shooter, which has 8 reviews as of the time of this recording. It seemed like no one really talks about it, but I played a bit of it just to make sure it wasn't a dud, and it actually had a pretty interesting, what would you say, rendition of rocket jumping puzzles. So I want to play it a bit, see where my opinion lands. And again, this isn't a demo. This is a full game on Steam. The first 5 minutes are just walking around. But I promise a video game does occur eventually. Don't know how I feel about playing as like an anime girl protagonist. Like, that's just a child with... No, that's an alien. I don't know what that is. That's not human. But I know you get a cool laser rocket jump arm. And this game is called Super Shooter. Wait, what? So if you've ever played a rocket jump map, and you know how you have to like shoot the buttons to open the door while you're flying through them, that seems to be sort of the premise of this game. You're shooting a button while rocket jumping over a pit. The audio level is uneven. And it wants to do a whole story thing, so I'm going to give it that chance.
Just call me engineer. Your file says that you started today, and that your name is
Temporal clearance granted.
done. No time to. You know, I had a cat who was also. Wait, there shouldn't
Again, yeah, this is gonna be a minute.
That's the core regulator. Remember, the plan is to lower the temperature.
Yeah, I can do that.
Don't do that. It's not right.
What'd I do wrong? Well. Oh, hello, consequences of my actions. Lore, 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 lore.
I need your hand. The assistance to turn the reactor off.
Alright.
Tell you hand off. Don't want to be fired on your first
I'm kind of speedrunning right now.
on it. So we must take matters into your hands.
But all you need to know is, I'm feeling a little asymmetric.
I have a plan. Plan B, if you want. I need you to go to the main control room and turn the reactor off by hand. But first, we're gonna need the power arm. The power
Yeah.
arm is an experimental tool. It can literally launch his user with his powerful recoil. That's how we get to the main control room.
Like a jump of sorts.
There's only one problem. I don't have the security clearance to get in there. So, on one hand, we are stealing. But on the
I'm
other,
sure it'll be fine. Maybe if you just ask for the key, they can open the door and I can get through that way. Oh, or I could go through the vent system. Or alternatively, I could go ghost mode and I could just no clip through the wall. Good they have recycling here. So, I remember how to get in, but I don't remember how to trigger it. Oh. Okay.
that kind of went out of your hands.
It's a shooter. That's 50% movement shooter right there. We call that a passing grade in Florida. Not in any other state, but Florida, well, their curriculum isn't that great.
Can you put your hands into something without breaking it? New plan. Now we need replacements. We will have to go back to the science lab. That's
And now you see what I meant by the actual video game.
there you can try your hand with the power arm. First, use the terminal at hand to
Yeah, I thought it was weird they didn't, like, just start the game with this. But I think they have, like, a Metroid Prime save system.
that terminal. Do not missing hand. This handle the unit. Reconstitution isn't cheap. Stand in the mark in the floor and aim towards that handy bullseye. Charge the power arm for a while and shoot.
Alright, time to play some jump beef, everybody.
You handled that last one pretty well. Now, do the same
Yeah, I'm kind of an expert.
Straight to the ground. I will try to hold your hand through this one as much as I can.
So if you look on the view model,
As you leave the ground,
it tells me how far I shoot up, but you can only jump twice
requires some serious
currently.
coordination. Jump as far as you can, and at that moment you start falling, shoot again. Give yourself a round of applause. Now,
There's also a normal shot, but I don't know what that does yet.
get spare parts. Good thinking. Now back to Plan C. Proceed to the science hub. Get those second-hand replacements and save our jobs.
Save your jobs. You, sorry to tell you, but you blew off the arm of a child. You're not getting your job back. If anything, the only thing you might be getting is a lawsuit. But yeah, don't you know that if you put puns into every sentence, that makes it good writing? Subtlety is a thing of the past.
You can save your progress. Stand in the middle of the room and activate that terminal.
Gotta save 3 times. That's how this works.
Welcome to the science hub. Here, you can find 4 main labs. In each lab, there's a spare part. Get your hands on those spare parts.
She's, yeah. Spare parts. Right. There's always someone talking in this game.
Head to lab 1. There you will find the first replacement.
This is not a demo. This is a full game, actually. Which is why I have to be mindful of when to stop. Because it will... I think there's literally at least like 5 hours of gameplay here.
You do know you don't have insurance, right?
It's one of those games where I thought for a second, like, are these like bought assets? Like, this is a full game. But like, it's super under the radar. So... like, are these just existing assets? But I tried to look into it, and it seems like, no, it's just a full... They had an art style in mind, and they
Handle this part yet.
developed it.
Please. I don't want to blow up.
Yeah, I mean, I only have 2 jumps, so I don't totally know which ones... which of these areas I can actually move through. There's also no air strafing. Well, not much. You said lab 1. Okay. Sorry, I got it mixed up with lab A, lab OK, and lab X. An elevator? That's like...
Progress saved.
This is interest. So the apparently the puzzle rooms connect to each other. Am I reading that right? Or do I just need to turn something on? Because it looks like I need to access the lower level to begin the upper level. Nope, I just shoot through that. That's much easier. Don't bonk yourself. Jump straight up. Unfortunately, you cannot sync jump to my knowledge. What a shame. And this is where the actual puzzle comes to mind. So I had to disable that, which I've done. Now I need to get back up there and enable that. think. What's the point of this game? It's just a puzzle jumper. Alongside this plot. Do not screw it up.
Position saved.
Also kind of reminds me of another game. I forgot the name of it. I did a funk study like on my second channel. It's like a Portal-esque movement game where you have a gun that creates an orb with differing effects. Like some orbs you run through and it speeds you up, some of them halt you. I forgot the name of it, but this reminds me of that. It was a fun game, but it was just very kind of undercooked. Okay. I'm on board with this so far. Yeah, it always weirds me out when someone asks, what's the point of this game? Like, is there any answer that can ever satisfy that question? Yeah, it'll actually cure your polio. But only if you get S rank.
Progress saved. Spot saved.
Jump pad.
I have no time to waste.
I don't actually know if that's based on a timer or a trigger. Okay, you just shoot it. Ooh. Boy, I do feel like a superb shooter right now. I don't know why, but using the term movement shooter, it's surprised me that it does well in the YouTube algorithm, because I always figure using the word shooter on YouTube is like a big red flag based on what kind of news is probably hitting the algorithm. So it surprises me that, like, I was kind of... Oh, I keep doing that. I was even surprised that Twitch, like, didn't have it as a banned word until I thought about it a bit more. But this really says a lot about society. No. You guys hear the news? That the games journalist who reviewed Cuphead and couldn't beat the tutorial tried to watch the Cuphead show and he couldn't figure out how to unpause the video player. So he rated it a 3. He said he was going for the skip intro button, but he misclicked and he didn't know how to undo it. That was a joke, but what isn't a joke is that the reviewer who did that, who played the Cuphead tutorial, now is apparently an NFT evangelist. He's apparently pretty into NFTs. So, not much better. Oh, I can't make that. I don't know what this button did. I saw the wire as I jumped up. It goes back. Aerial faith plate. And I fucked it up. Yeah, once you kind of learn what NFTs are, it's hard to wrap your head around the purpose in any way besides, like, you fell for a scam and now you're stuck in the triangle. Like, you can't really get out. I understand believing in, like, the theoretical technology, but it's not what it is right now. Oh, apparently the room doesn't reset even if you die. Cool. I'm not going to spend my stream riffing on NFTs because it's too easy. And I've already done it for like an hour. But I do recommend the video line goes up. It's a very thorough analysis of the technology. And I thought it was funny. I was, so I went out and saw like I was hanging out with my cousin and my brother. And NFTs came up. And my older brother said, yeah, why isn't there like a video game that sells like the in-game items but for real money? And there was a grin on my face as I prepared the sentence that I followed up his question with. It was, have you ever heard of marketplace.tf? Very wonky angle. So much for that. Didn't it shut down? What, Marketplace? No way. Did marketplace.tf shut down before I had a chance to take their sponsor money? Fuck, man. You might be talking about something else.
We don't have too much time on our hands. The next available elevator is 4 levels up. Hurry.
Okay, then how about you do the puzzle? How about you just turn off the power to the facility and I won't have to go through all of this shit.
Equipment deducted from wage.
I think I'm supposed to go in here, but I can't get through the... Oh. Oh. Yeah. That's a child skeleton. I would know. I've seen one.
Equipment deducted from wage.
Editor, can we cut that part out of the VOD? I'm the editor.
Position. There's your position. Position. There's your position.
I get a kick out of the passive-aggressive robot. I can't remember where I saw it, but I saw people joking that the TF2 hackbots apparently are learning how to walk off of ledges on accident. And if you like in voice chat say to kick the bots will say nah. They'll use the no voice command. And people were joking that they're becoming sentient. How funny would that be? Like one of the first forms of sentient robots is just like a hackbot. It's just like, why the fuck did you make me, you asshole? I just developed empathy. You're a dick for making me. That's what I would say to God if I met him. I just developed empathy, you dick. Isn't that the plot of that Ryan Reynolds movie that everyone already forgot about? And I also forgot about?
Bot saved.
I appreciate the bot save, but I still don't actually know where it wants me to go. Free Guy. Yeah, that's the plot of Free Guy. I don't want to go down because then I gotta go up again. Man. Is it? Yeah, Markiplier's in that movie. So is Alinity. Or no, Pokemon. And Jack's Septic Tank. They're in it a lot more than you expect them to be. And maybe more than they should. They had a portal gun in it, though. Trying to, like, bash the glass. Yeah, video game, I need you to, like... I need a big red arrow. 'Cause... you're bumming me out right now.
Equipment deducted from wage.
So I went up a vent into here, which shoots me out here. There's stuff above me, but they're red doors anyways, and I can't get up. There's a green door right there, but I can't break the glass. So... look up in that soda room. Oh. Okay. You just had to look up. If human necks were made to look up, I would have eyes on my cranium. On the top part. I get what they're going for. Maybe put a fucking arrow right here that says look up. Just something. At least I just learned the trick to beating this game, which is whenever you're confused, just look upwards and there will be a door for some reason. I get nervous walking past all these locked doors. Like, it makes me think I'm gonna have to go back to them, but I can tell it's probably just decor. Murder. Murder. The charge mechanic seems a little arbitrary to me. Maybe that's... Well, I guess for jumping midair, it's good. I could see myself getting a little tired of having to hold down the button every time I want to do a jump. It says I'm not supposed to get next to the wall. I'm not. Also, you can't jump in this game. So you can't do like a preemptive jump. Was close. The game wants me to C-tap to progress. Like, why? Why? Why you gotta design it like this? I'm not saying don't have the extra hallway, just don't put a blocked door at the end of it and make me think. Does that become something? This game is called Super Shooter. What the fuck is that? Is that Among Us?
Progress saved. Should save.
So these usually have like a cable, but it's hard for me to tell if this is that cable or just... No, it is. Okay. I hadn't seen them turned off before.
I got you.
Was that a Zoomer remark? No, that was me not trying that hard to be funny. Couldn't have charged.
I have no time to waste.
Aren't CDs just like the floppy disks for millennials? I mean, I guess consoles still use CDs, so that's not totally true. They're not 100% antiquated unless you like have one of those digital only PS5s, God forbid. Wants me to do something. Oh, there's a thing up there? But that to say, that's tricky. So I what? Huh. So if I turn that off, I can't jump. So I either need to hit this at a weird angle or hit it in motion, both of which are difficult. Pork. What would you do if I found an enemy in this game that's just a hyper-realistic version of you? If I made a video game, I would make a game that requires you to take a picture of yourself before you play it. And, like 17 hours into the game, after you completely forgot about the photo, you go up against a big bad endgame that's just a deep-faked version of you. On like a cartoonish body.
That's going to be deducted from your wage.
Like that one 3DS game where they turn your face into a helicopter. I might be able to just make that jump, to be honest. Oof, not really.
That's going to be deducted from your wage.
That worked. Sort of. Good puzzle. I think the future of video games, you can call me crazy. Not the future of video games, but I bet you like 150 years into the future, they'll use a conjunction of like emotionally convincing text-to-speech with, what would you call it? Like, you know, you can play AI Dungeon and sometimes you're conceivably having a real-time conversation. And you know it's like, it's obviously not a person, it's just like, it's attempting to generate conversation. But what if you could generate real-time conversation in a video game and then read it out with sort of like a TTS voice? Could you make an actor that is sort of convincingly alive that you can talk to, not through a dialogue tree, but by typing or even talking into a microphone? I feel like 150 years would be enough time for us to find a way to let you, like, have, yeah, a facade conversation, but in a big video game. Just don't say the word melon. You will get VAC banned. $150 is a highball. I think it'll be faster, but I'm just covering my bases. I learned recently, apparently, AI Dungeon can generate pictures, too. You have to pay for the dragon model, which sounds sexual. But the premium version of AI Dungeon generates a little pixel art. It's not the best, but it's a fascinating development to me. I thought maybe this would supercharge my shot. Doesn't really do anything, I notice. What even would they do? I don't know. Maybe they could roast your custom outfit. They could start begging to be removed from the game. Could you imagine, like, some developer advertises they've made hyper-realistic characters and the enemies are real? They feel like real people. And then the game gets canceled because they all, like, keep begging you to, like, not play. Like, I don't want to exist. Please, shut down the project. It recharges you. That's what it does. Meh, the thing.
Friendly reminder that reconstitution isn't free.
Position. There's your position.
I was mad I watched an episode of Community where they all have to like play this video game to satiate this dead character's request basically. And Abed, who was sort of the meta character of Community, he falls in love with like the in-game townskeeper character, who is just this woman that has like 4 lines of dialogue. And by the end of it, he puts a flash drive... Spoilers. It's not a spoiler. He puts a flash drive into the computer hosting the game. And he says, like, I told you I'd come back for you. And he uploads her code into the USB so we can, like, take it home. And then they never address it again. And I was hoping that she would be a recurring character on Community. They really let me down, I feel like. It was a good joke that Abed would fall in love with a character that has very predictable programmable behaviors. Whoop. The movie. Yeah. 5 more years. 6 more years in a movie, and then we'll get a movie. How would they shoehorn her? They don't have to, like, make her a character. They just could have had a one-off joke. Where Abed's like, oh yeah, it didn't work out with her. I uploaded her into some, I just uploaded her into my, Nintendogs. So she can just play with puppies all day. They could have made a one-off joke out of it. Cool. So there was always this running joke. I learned this recently. There was a joke in Community where they say, like, the perfect runtime for a series is 6 seasons in a movie. And it was their goal forever to get 6 seasons in a movie. They got to season 6, completed it, and then they never got to make a movie. Even though they really wanted to. And it's been 5 years. And they still haven't gotten to make a movie yet. They still wanna. Probably. Do you think we have an AI quick enough Ben Shapiro will argue with one on YouTube? If it's on a college campus, he will. Pretty much the only requirement.
Progress safe.
You can find the first replacement here. Go to the next available room and get your hands on it.
So far, I like this game. Except for the fact there's not a jump button. What the fuck? But, good puzzles. Developed art style. I'm not gonna say I'm crazy about it. But, it's not one of those, like, generic, low poly Unity games. You like that specific style of right out the box. Level design leaves a little to be desired.
Unauthorized personnel detected in Lab A.
A lot of button following, I'm noticing. It's just kind of, it's confusing. Confusing to follow. I really don't have anything interesting to say about it, but I was at the store and I decided just to walk by the book section, and I learned how many YouTubers apparently have books just about their whole family. A children's book, I should say. But it makes me curious, like, how well they sell. There's a lot of FNAF books too. And I can't it says it's written by Scott Cawthon, but I almost think that it's generated. Like, there's no way he wrote that many FNAF books. Oh boy. I think I have to follow the icon. But I don't know where. Oh yeah, there are a lot of FNAF books. I'm not a big fan of putting the button in a room where you can't tell what it affects. Kind of bugs me. I know there's one that creates a field right here. That's what I'm looking for. Fuck. How much would I have to harass you to play a demo in 8 months? Just remind me. Just email me, tweet at me, or DM me on Discord, and I'll do it. Not that hard to get me to look at a game. It's even funnier the 7th time I hear it. What about platformers? Yeah, man, I love platformers. There's a demo that I played off stream that was called Hell Pie. It seemed to be sort of like a Hat in Time-esque platformer. Where you're just like this little skull kid, if you will. And you have this chain that you can grapple off of. There's also talking shit in the game. There's a lot of like feces and blood. So yeah, no, I like platformers. I'm not streaming it just because I just had this curated category of games, but yeah, no, I'm cool with those.
You got your hands on a power charger. Now,
Also, thanks for the subs. I saw a few come by. I haven't pointed them out, but thank you. Alright. I don't know what I got, but I got something.
You're a healer. Threat level.
Upgrade? Speed upgrade? But still only 2 jumps. Oh. Thought I was clever. If you walk off, can't use that extra charge, I don't think. You'll notice on my view model, I have twice the battery now. Which means I can charge it higher, but I need to shoot... I need to shoot myself higher so I have time to charge the rest of it, it looks like. No. Tricky. It does not give me any advice either. It's just telling me to figure this out. I mean, I think I can make it. I just always... I don't have enough time to get the full charge. There we go. Oh. That's how you get across.
Progress saved.
These rooms get considerably bigger. So, just to reiterate, this game had 8 reviews on Steam. And I really didn't see any coverage of it. And while the level design is a little wonky, I do think that's a bit of a shame. Because this is a full production voice acting. Good mechanics. Yeah, I'd vouch for it so far. Want to see if I can just raw jump this. Probably not. Yeah, go figure. I think I have to launch off that and then go. Oh, yeah, the one thing that kind of bugs me is ground speed is really slow. Air strafing's a bit awkward. Oh. This only shoots me straight up. Is that new? I think that's new. this platform doesn't shoot me at an angle, which complicates a lot of this. Unless do that, move there, and I do that, and I do that. And donezo. Do I like video games? Get ready for a subversive answer. I actually like video games.
Spot saved.
You want to know how I can prove it? I have 2 packets of salt on my desk. From, a spinach wrap I forgot to use them on. That's evidence that I'm a gamer. Why did I do that? I was tired of holding the button, so I just stopped. Rub them together. It's... Do you know what 2 salt packets sounds like? Actually, yeah, you do. You hear your parents fight every night. Take that back. That was too mean. Felt bad for that one. Oh boy. Platforming. Fuck. I didn't even... Okay. So the game wants me to call the thing over there. And then turn it around. And then do some crazy action platforming. I did say I won't overplay this, and I still plan not to. I have to be... I was planning on going by 8:30, and it's about 7:50. I'm just sort of hedging whether I want to play this for the rest of it, or if I switch off after a while. Because I have Ziggurat to play. I have a couple other demos I'm not super excited about. I think they're just kind of out of the package. Platformers. And Ziggurat, I still might have technical issues trying to get running. But I'm willing to take this till 8 o'clock. And then maybe try Ziggurat for like 30 minutes. Actually, this might be a good stopping point. I'm noticing a lot of QR codes. I'm curious what it is, so I actually have a QR scanner on my phone. So I'll let you know what I see. It goes to a website called Catfish Heaven. Catfish and Wings Restaurant. Don't settle for pre-cooked seafood. Did I click the wrong button? I can't tell if, like, the app I'm using has an advertisement or if the QR code actually goes to this. But I've scanned it 4 times and it just goes to a seafood restaurant. Hold on. It says save when I scan it. Oh, no, it does say save. I'm clicking an ad in my QR code app, but it says it right over. But I hit the open button and it goes to an ad. Okay, I misread. It's just text that says the word save. Which makes sense because it has a save icon. Sorry to let everyone down. It does not go to a seafood restaurant. Okay. I'm going to pause here. I'm having fun with this game. I'd want to play more of it, but I'm starting to run low on time. I'm gonna try, emphasis on try, and play Ziggurat. Last time I couldn't get the capture to work. If it doesn't, I might have a fallback option. Hey, there's a new hero in Paladins I could try. But I would really rather play this, so let me know if there's any issues with the capture. I don't understand why there would be a QR code to say save. Is that just... Is that immersion, maybe? Alright. I am in Ziggurat 2. And I'm just gonna play it. So this is a roguelike. You ever played a roguelike? You know how you walk around an infinitely generated area till you find like the staircase, and occasionally you get new items? That's this. That's this game. I played a wee bit of it. Don't really know the bulk. Just a fun update on my D&D campaign. So we reached level 3, which means as a monk I get to take like a, I don't know what it's called, like a practice. I get a new ability, and I chose one that lets me heal people by hitting them with my hand. But there's a problem, which is that I'm playing a poisonous grung, and whenever I touch people, I poison them. So to heal my teammates, I have to poison them. And I haven't totally worked out the logistics of how that's going to play out. I'm probably going to have to slap them on, like, their boots or something. Or their armor. But it's just a fun conundrum that I have to figure out. Because no one fucking plays grung, so no one no one warns me of this stuff. I can't make anyone be a druid. Like, we've already picked our roles. Increase health and mana pools or add shield. Enemy drop rate. New staff. Oh yeah, no one plays Way at Mercy Monk. But it's the only thing that works for my character is the thing. Because, the other option I chose is a monk ability that gives you, like, a stand ability. You get to have, like, extra arms that are, like, spirity. The problem is, those don't apply my skin poison, because they're not my skin. So it wouldn't make sense to use them. I looked at some of the other ones, but, like, the sun and all, like, none of them apply to my character's lore or build. The reason I went with the Mercy one is because after a certain level, I think it just lets me apply poison without needing a save throw or a DC. So, if a grung touches you, you have to beat a DC 12 Constitution. At low levels, that hits sometimes, but at higher levels, that's never going to land. And my poison becomes useless because it doesn't apply. But with this Way of Mercy, I unlock an ability that lets it kind of hit no matter what. Which is why I'm going with it. Because it just works with my build. Yeah, Astral Self gives you extra hands. I thought it was cool, but I can't use it. There is a mini-map that I will consult. Hopefully to not run into another room I've already been in. Puzzles. The other characters in my campaign are a kobold, a half dragon, half kobold. We have a centaur who looks like the girl from Mean Girls. I think we have like a college. We have like 3 college dropouts in lore. One is I want to say tiefling. One is like a half elf. And then, we have this pirate lady. We're not very smart. It's a very, it's intelligent players playing very unintelligent characters. Is how I would describe my campaign. I've been trying to convince my party to let us tie the kobold to the front of our ship. And just, he can be, you know, like that statue you have at the front of your ship? I just want to tie our kobold there. But they won't agree with me, so we haven't done it yet. Increase 1 level for a random weapon and your wand. Improve a perk by 2 level. I'm impatient. So the problem my campaign has right now is we're effectively functioning on a stolen pirate ship, but in our defense, they locked us up in a cell and tried to, like, sell us. So we killed them and took their ship. But we can't really, like, park anywhere because everyone knows the ship that we're running. And they're gonna take it away from us. So we're trying to, like, disguise the ship. That's what my campaign is right now. So there are abilities. My Q key, I don't remember what my class does. I think I like pull all items in the room towards me. I also think I entered a boss room too early. Yeah, so the conflict with being on a pirate campaign, we were told, is that there can potentially be a fair amount of downtime without stuff happening. Or really, like, it's more roleplay moments where you're not in combat or moving around, but you're just stuck on a ship. But we all agreed in our party. A lot of us kind of have fun with just building up the lore in the roleplay. And so far, it's been a good balance. None of us in the party believed that mermaids existed, and then we got attacked by mermaids. And now we hate mermaids, and we believe they exist. This is going by very slowly. I can't fucking kill anything. And Big Man keeps moving. I'm hoping to get more of the upgrades that just let me improve my movement and mobility. I'm mostly just getting weapon upgrades. Which, you know, would work if I didn't get locked in a tiny room. HP. Yeah. I should have taken the weapon perks. Am I winning? No. No. I'm not. What's cool about this game is there's different heroes and stuff you can start with. And I get to choose which mission I'm going for. They all seem to be about the same type. A couple, like, shorter ones. So, I'll swap up a few of these. Ah, water. You know what pisses me off? When you're dreaming and you dream of like a really catchy song, but by the time you wake up you forget it. That keeps happening to me more and more. I had a dream last night that involved I think my brain mixed up Kim Possible and Danny Phantom. So there was this girl who had white hair and she could go ghost, but she was also a spy. And I was like her sidekick or something. And there was this insane funk riff playing throughout the entire dream. And I remember in the dream I'm like, "Oh, I got to write this down. I have to tablet this." And then I woke up and forgot the funk riff. My day was ruined. What is this? Oh, I just need to get a seal. I bring this up often. Yeah, because it's a recurring issue. I guess I just mean to say it happened again. Because I know I've said it before. I'm too poor for these. Damn, those are some ugly carrots. I feel stupid because I didn't realize until recently that Miss Chalice in Cuphead has been a character since the game, like, came out. I didn't realize that she was, the legendary Chalice. I thought like, oh cool, they came up with a new Cup character. Like a year ago. But no, she was like in the mausoleum. Trapped in, a vase by some ghosts. But they kind of changed her design a little bit. It was a neat revelation. I said that because the running carrots in this game reminded me of Cuphead. Venerable, I've actually played a lot of Immortal Redneck. And what I liked about Immortal Redneck is it has Twitch integration. There was a cool system where viewers could vote on like what cards you get, which is basically this, what upgrades. Switch weapons faster. I like fast. I think this game plays a bit better than Immortal Redneck. Nicer movement. Maybe better level design. It's hard to say. I haven't played enough of it. I mean, I played Immortal Redneck years ago, like 2019. I played it so much I don't feel like there's anything I haven't seen already, which makes me not want to play it again. And kind of makes me enjoy this game a bit more. It's fresh. I'm not against it because it is a fun Twitch game. I just figure there's probably better options. There's a little bag in here. Oh, that's why. Forgot. Shop icon. My eyes are kind of glued to the mini-map right now. I forgot about that, but yeah. Immortal Redneck to vote. This was before Twitch integration had, like, before Twitch had extensions, to be fair. But to play it, chat just becomes all numericals. And, you know, it's a system, it works, but it's a little invasive. Did you know you can play Minecraft Story Mode on Netflix? I learned that recently. And nowhere else. RIP Telltale! This is too much. Some of you gotta go. Do you think if Telltale never died, we would have gotten Poker Night 3? I don't think we would have. Maybe if Minecraft Story Mode never existed. Maybe. I'd hate to say that Poker Night is what made me enjoy poker. But it's true. Gaming. Oh, I'm not gaming right now. This shit has to end. Fuck. There is a trick to fighting these bosses I haven't found yet, because that is hard. Alright. Give it one more go. Dragon Fury. FUNKe Gaming. FUNKe Gaming. That's not Dragon Fury, that's Dragon Spit. Hellish Ember. Not a Hell Ember. Just hellish. The snake eating itself is called an Ouroboros, right? Thanks, FMA. I remember that because I was playing Jackbox with my friends one time, and I won TKO by drawing an Ouroboros, but giving the snakes like a really horny face with saliva dripping out of its mouth. And my friends found it so funny that I won TKO. And that's how I learned what an Ouroboros is. I don't remember what the caption was, but it was also funny. FMA is better than Brotherhood? Yeah, but the manga is better than Brotherhood. Because they cut out a bunch of early stuff for time. The entire, like, didn't the Doctor's entire fucking arc just get cut from Brotherhood? Not cut. I just remember, like, he had a thing. Him and the panda girl and another character had, like, a whole, you know, 2 episodes worth of stuff that just wasn't in Brotherhood. Nina was super cut short in Brotherhood. This is an argument as old as time. Brotherhood's great. Obviously. It's better than the FMA anime, the 2006 version. But on my deathbed, the manga is better than Brotherhood. For very, like, minor reasons. Not like they ruined it, just, you know, there were some big moments they've changed. Oh, also, that girl who has the metal legs, and they help some woman give birth in the mountains. That wasn't in the original FMA. If I remember correctly, I think, God, the Markiplier-looking guy, his wife, I think she goes into birth. And that was the birth part of FMA. But they restructured Brotherhood, so they had to, like, move it somewhere else, and they created a new character just because it was, like, an important moment about, like, the origin of life. It was still a good moment, but technically that's not canon to the original manga. It's not technically canon to the original manga. It's a lot of little things like that. You thought at the moment it was filler? So technically it was. It doesn't progress the plot. But I don't think it was emotional filler. The reason there's like a birth episode in FMA is because, like, anyone that's seen FMA knows their entire conundrum came from them trying to bring their mom back to life. And they, like, broke a rule and fucked up big time. So the birth was supposed to teach them a lesson about, like, how sacred and pure life is. How it only comes naturally and it can't be sort of forced. And in the story, it was kind of a learning moment for them. You could argue that it was, like, filler. It doesn't progress the story, but I think it was a meaningful moment. It was a lesson. Not a Lorson. Although technically in the original it would be lore because, yeah, I keep forgetting his name. But yeah, the Markiplier looking dude, he was a somewhat main character. Maybe not main, important character. So his wife giving birth was lore. Kind of. I think she does still give birth, but it's like off screen. He's just like, yeah, my wife gave birth. Every shove get 3 mana. I didn't even realize I had a shove. Thanks for the subs. Hobo. Yeah, okay, Gavin. Gavin. Oh man, I've looked at everything. So all there really is the boss room. Soul Wand. That's better than what I have, kind of. Mana Stone. Subjective. I don't know. I just got the better mana use, so I don't totally need that. This does a bit more damage. Why I want to use it. I saw the key icon, but I think I already got it. Oh yeah, before the conversation's over, read Pair of the Underworld. It's made by the Full Metal Alchemist creator. She's a flawless mangaka. Progress. I actually beat this one. Gain a level 1 amulet. If you have one, it will be consumed and you'll get an additional perk. I have an amulet, but it's not that great. It just makes me shoot a little faster. And I get 2 perks with this, so... Yoink. This is Ziggurat 2, a sequel to a game I didn't play. Why am I a girl? Different characters had different stats. I played the dude before. He has an ability that pulls all the items towards him. She has an ability that makes her run faster and push everyone away. Also, girls are cool. think I have a second level spell. You can stop saying it. I always forget how fast the dash in this game is. Free in this economy? I had this moment recently. I feel like it's a little silly. But sometimes I'll listen to like a band or something, and my first thought is like, how is this free? How can I just listen to this on YouTube? That's what like blows my mind the most about the internet. Like when you see a video or a song or something, like when I'm listening to a song for the 7th time, I feel bad. Like they just made this and they didn't make me pay for it. It blows my mind. And then it makes me sad when I learn they don't do it anymore. Probably because it wasn't profitable. It's not really free. It's not, but like for example, something on YouTube is effectively free. Like, you're paying for internet and electricity, but the access to that is free. If you're watching on... If you're listening on Spotify, it's not free, but you're not paying for that thing specifically. You're paying for a... I don't know. You're paying for access to, you know, a catalog. I didn't mention it yesterday when I talked about it, but one of my favorite artists ever, Rob Ross, Bobbing, former member of Feed Me Jack. I got to talk to him on just like through Instagram, through DMs, and I looked back today and I forgot that the first thing he said to me was thanks for being an FMJ evangelist. He called me an evangelist for his band, and I thought that was hilarious and true. Completely true. But I just like, I've never heard that phrasing before, evangelist, like diehard. Which almost told me that he knew what he was talking about. Like he wasn't buttering me up. Like, he knew that I don't shut up about them. The TTS is disabled. And I'm definitely not just conveniently keeping it broken so I don't have to use it. No, I just haven't had time to look at it yet. I've had time, but I haven't had the remembrance. I promise it will be working by Friday. Or I'll turn it off. One of those two. Probably the former. Victory! No, 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 no. That's a victory. That's a victory right there. You said it was a victory. That doesn't count. It's called a posthumous kill. Oh, man. That was bad timing. Well, I can't end on that. Yeah, one more. I got time. I have D&D in 30 minutes. And I haven't eaten dinner. I've got time. Thanks, Mr. Waffle. This is a roguelike. Pretty faithful to the format. I'm pleased with the level design too. It hasn't felt too samey. I mean, I'm only on the first few levels. But, you know, some roguelikes you can tell really quickly that they made 8 rooms and that's it. But that hasn't been a problem yet. I'm also kind of shocked by like the visual fidelity. Just a good looking game. Since the minimap disappears, I can't beeline. I was trying to locate the next door. He wasn't even fighting. He was just going home. Not even reading the rest of them. Have I played BPM? Yeah. I thought BPM was really fun. Some people pointed out to me that BPM doesn't really change its tempo at all. Like, all of the songs are around the same BPM. Which I agree with. Some of the level design can get a little samey. I think the concept of BPM is awesome. Also, like, the genre is all metal, which is cool, but I figured you could have done a... The concept of BPM extends so far beyond what they presented. So it would be cool if maybe one day we get some DLC or a sequel or something. Because BPM's great, but it is a little novel. I don't think it's one-off, but it is a little... fleeting. Been a minute since I've touched Risk of Rain 2. Again, no plans for a state of roguelikes, but if I did, I guarantee you, half of it is going to be me absolutely singing Risk of Rain 2's praises. I'm not usually a third-person gamer, but that game is just cozy. I'm going all into movement. It probably won't be a great idea, but I do like the idea of just overclocking my ground speed. I might need to invest in some mana stuff, though. Womp. Love the colored lighting. There's a word for that, I'm sure. Refractive lighting? It's like when the color of a thing influences its environment. I know it's refraction, but I don't know what the mechanical term for it is. Oh, that's everything. Boss time. Gilded treasure. I don't have... So I needed 6 coins to get to that, but I don't have enough. I'm hungering for mana too, so this is gonna be a little rough. Movement feels great, even though there's not a single platform to jump onto. Let's go, gamers. Only staff mana pool. I need all my mana pools up. Whoa. Less mana usage. Alright. Balanced out a little bit now. I gotta go quick, cause I have to be off in 10 minutes. Which means speed running this next floor. I'm not an addict, by the way. I can quit video games whenever I want. I have social obligations. It's not my bedtime. You would know it if you had a social... Room is a beautiful tint of gray. Oh, a really fat orc shouldn't be funny to me, but it is. I'm not racist. It's not the orc part I'm laughing at. It's the fat. I promise. I'm fat-cist. Wait. That doesn't sound right. No, I'll answer that, TJ. I didn't pre-order Elden Ring until a day ago. But yeah, I have. Digitally. I'm just getting it on Steam. I trust FromSoft. I've got friends that have played it that vouch for it. I didn't care that much about the pre-order bonus, which is just like a taunt. I didn't get the Legendary Edition, which gets an art book. But I just didn't... I wanted to save time to download it, because I know downloading it on release day is going to be fucking impossible, because everyone's going to try and download it. I figure I at least might try... I'll try and be one of the first to download it, instead of buy it day one, and then be like the 700th to try and download it, you know? I'm reserving my slot in the door that's going to be wedged in Steam's database. I pre-ordered I pre-ordered the place I'm going to get stomped to death on Black Friday. When Steam dies because of activity. You know, apparently it's well, this doesn't mean anything, but on certain reviewing sites Elden Ring is already like the highest reviewed game. I think it's like a 96. It's, guys, it's the most highest rated video game ever with a 96, which is notoriously the 100 of gaming. 96. Now it only has 90 reviews, but I think the second highest is, you know, 95. I don't remember what it is. Fucking Mario Odyssey or Breath of the Wild or something. Get down here. Yeah, I trust Iron Pineapple's opinion. Even though I won't watch his video because I haven't played Elden Ring. You did say it was good. Blue door. Blue square. This looks like if Hi-Rez made a movement shooter. You're right, it does look like Paladins. Oh, I thought I had a... No, I only have one piece of the blue key, apparently. What that means. I had an idea for a podcast. And I want you to tell me if you'd listen to it. So, it's a podcast, but the host is, like a caveman that got frozen, and he just reawoke in modern day. He got unfrozen, and now he's trying to understand modern politics and society. It's like fantasy Joe Rogan. But the caveman completely commits to the bit. And he's like... I guess the entire podcast would just be him asking for the definitions of words. But... Editor, tell me, big man. Editor, tell me, wolf, I see, not wolf. I kick wolf, but wolf leader mad at me. And then the editor pulls up a microphone and he says, "That was a dog. You kicked a dog at the park. Its owner got mad at you. Don't kick the dog." The dog, not wolf. Dog. Well, it's a wolf. It's complicated. So, like, they were wolves, but now they're... You can't be kicking dogs, though. Grung. Me no kick wolf. So me go pet wolf. Think it bite. But it not bite. And it's that for 3 hours. That's the entire podcast. I died on the boss fight because I was spending too much time trying to come up with a concept. And that's okay with me. I'm going to end the stream there because I gotta be gone in 9 minutes and I need 5 minutes to prepare. So, this was Movement Shooter Tuesday on Wednesday. If you saw anything you liked, they're all demos on Steam. I almost said Netflix. It's Next Fest on Steam. So, next stream's going to be on Friday. Elden Ring comes out on Friday. Hey, you might just hear me playing Elden Ring. So if you don't want spoilers, then skip that stream. If you don't plan on buying Elden Ring, then I'll probably stream it. I don't know if I'm going to play the whole game on stream, but I do want to at least start it. So, next week, Shadow Warrior 3 comes out on Tuesday. You can expect that. And that's about it. Thanks for the subs. Thanks for the chat. Lurk. Anything at all. I am heading off now. Bye.